Today we're talking about the Synco Microphone D1. It's a hypercardioid shotgun microphone that was sent to me by Synco in order to do this review. However, with that being said, I do want to let you guys know that no money was exchanged. Synco didn't offer me anything in exchange for a positive review of this microphone. You're hearing my voice and my opinion on this product and no one else's. So first things first, this is the largest, heaviest shotgun microphone that I own right now, and it is more of like a pencil style shotgun microphone. So if you were expecting to buy this thing and throw it in the hot shoe mount of a smaller mirrorless camera, it's probably going to look somewhat goofy and like top heavy and just weird. It's more suited towards something like the end of a boom pole, if you have like a boom operator, or if you have a larger cinema rig and you need a larger shotgun microphone. This will suit that application better than a small mirrorless camera, in my opinion. And it's not just looks that are deterring me from using this on top of a smaller camera. The other thing is, if I want to balance it on a gimbal, not only is this microphone so long that it'll interact with the arms of the gimbal as I'm trying to move around, but the microphone is just so heavy with a battery in it that it would be a pain in the ass to balance the gimbal in the first place. There's two different ways that you can go about powering this microphone. The first is pretty simple. You just throw a AA battery in it and it's ready to go. The other way you can power it is through something called phantom power, which is basically just power that runs through the XLR input. If you were plugged into, say, a cinema camera that has phantom power, or something like an audio interface that you would plug into a computer for like music production. So you have some options as far as powering this thing. However, I don't like that there's no on-off switch on it. The reason I don't like that there's no on-off switch on this thing is because if you have a AA battery in here, it's being drained whether you're using the microphone to shoot or not. So if you throw a AA battery in here and throw it in your camera bag, the next day that battery will be completely drained no matter what. And yeah, it's not a huge deal. You could just take the battery out and wait until you're ready to start shooting and put the battery back in. But it's one more thing to remember to put in your bag. It's inconvenient, and it would be much easier if there was just an on-off switch, or if plugging the microphone in activated the battery. It just seems careless to design a microphone to just always drain the battery no matter what. My other gripe with the battery situation on this microphone is the way you put the battery in with this little sliding input. It's got like an edge. I had a brand new rechargeable Energizer that I threw in there, and by the time I like finagled it out of the microphone the first time, there was a huge scratch and like a dent on the edge of it. And if you know anything about lithium batteries, you know why that annoyed me. Also, it's 2023. There's no reason that any of us should be using AA batteries for anything. Just make everything rechargeable. The only thing left to mention on the outside of this microphone is, of course, that high-pass filter switch. All the high-pass filter does is it eliminates the lower frequencies in the spectrum. So if it's windy, or you have a real deep voice, or you're like touching the camera a lot, you won't get that like muffled boominess in your microphone. However, I personally like to do that in post just because that's the workflow that I like, and I like having that control. But if you like a quicker workflow, or you just don't want to worry about it, you can of course use that high-pass filter. Up to this point in this video, I have been using a different shotgun microphone that is comparable to the Synco D1. So now I'm going to take a break. I'm going to switch over to the Synco D1, and you're going to see how it sounds in a talking head situation like this as compared to the shotgun microphone that I've already been using. So here we are, we have the Synco D1 instead of the other shotgun microphone. I had to turn the preamp up on my camera pretty far for some reason. I don't really know why, considering they're both powered shotgun microphones, but this is what it sounds like when I talk through the Synco D1 into my A7S III. While we're on the topic of actually using this microphone, they do include two separate wires with it. The one I'm using right now is XLR to 1/8 of an inch, and obviously it's going into the microphone port in my camera, like directly in. I'm not using any adapters or anything. If you did have some sort of like XLR handle for, say, the FX3, or you had a cinema camera with an XLR input built into the camera, you would use the other wire that they include, which is XLR male to XLR female. While we're talking accessories, this microphone also comes with a pop filter, so it's just like a piece of foam that fits over the end of the microphone if you pop your P's or your B's. You could also use it in like a windy situation. However, I would much rather use something like a dead cat. Synco, of course, like every other camera microphone company, does not include the dead cat with this microphone, so you'd have to use one of your own or order one separately. The last things of note to talk about that this microphone includes is there's a little mic stand clip, like those plastic retainers that you would screw into the top of a mic stand. It's pretty basic. It's not like a Rycote Lyre shock mount. It's just the basic plastic one with the screw. And also the case itself. I do want to mention that for the price point that we're at with this microphone, the case and the presentation is actually pretty nice. So the only thing left to discuss is whether or not I like this thing and the price. Right now on B&H, you can get the Synco D1 with the whole kit, all the accessories and everything for $110 USD. And for that price, I mean, I was really pleasantly surprised by this thing. The build quality seems nice. I've been using it as a podcasting mic for like a month now, and it hasn't failed me or given me any like weird clipping or issues or anything like that. My only real gripe with this thing is it drains the battery when the battery is in there no matter what. I really wish that they included at least a power button or some sort of circuit where it only drains the battery when the XLR is plugged in. But other than that, I have no gripes with this thing. And if I personally spent $110 on it, I would definitely be happy with it. So in closing, I really like this microphone. It's not gonna beat something like a Sennheiser MKH416 or something crazy like that costs $1,000. But for 110 bucks, you really can't beat it. I mean, it does what it's meant to do, and it does it well, and it does it at a price point that isn't insane. So what more can you ask for? I think that's all I got. If you got something out of this, consider going down and hitting the like and the sub button. It means the world to content creators like me. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Sam Has a Spending Problem, and I'll see you guys in the next one.